Na, it's a dubs, dip, and double eight. Right, Amy has done a fantastic job editing the video. Before I jump into my weekly debrief, I want to point out that the last 3-4 minutes of the video are all the outtakes of the funny bits. So stick around, make sure you make it to the last few minutes and enjoy some behind the scenes camp banter. So we have completed 1 week in Mallorca. We are staying down in Sarapita, if I pronounce that correctly, which is southeast of Palma, down on the coast. I've got the sea behind you, not behind me. I think because the lighting's better this way. So I'm not going to run through every session or do a weekly sort of review too much, partly because last week I did 30 hours of training and it would probably take me 30 minutes to go through all of it, if not more. So I'm going to whiz through the week, but pull out the sort of key sessions and key moments and things that were fun. I was going to say not so fun, but there hasn't actually been any low moments yet, I'll say. But it's been a pretty good first week. So on Monday we flew out. Amy and I flew out from Luton, got to Palma, got the hire car and got down to where we're staying. All pretty smooth. Managed to even build the bikes and get out for a quick sort of 1 hour spin with one of the other lads, Toby, just to sort of check the bikes, or one of the bikes is all set up anyway. I've bought both my road bike and my TT bike. And then Billy and Fennell arrived later in the evening. And from Tuesday we got going. From Tuesday we did an easy day, so we started with a run, then we went out on the bikes for 2 hours 40 minutes. I have to look at Strava to remind me because I forgot most of it. And then we went for a long swim at the pool at the Best Centre. I can't remember the name of the town. I can see it, it's just over there around the coast, but there's a lovely 50-metre outdoor pool there, so got the sort of swim arms ready to go for the week. Normally Tuesday's our harder day of the week, but obviously with travelling on Monday, the week was sort of switched around a bit. So Wednesday then was the hard day of the week. We did a hard swim in the morning, 250s, 100, 250s, 100 times 3. Or it was the best swim time-wise that I've hit in a 50-metre pool. And this is a legitimate 50-metre pool, but it's a very nice pool. It just shows what a bit of good company and a bit of sun on your back while you're swimming can do. We then went and did some intervals on the bike, and this was we went to Randa, which is one of the climbs up to, I don't know if it's actually a monastery, but one of the climbs up to like an observatory on the island. Been up there once before on a long ride, but we went there. The climb is about, I think it's about 5k long, so it's about, I think they're somewhere between sort of 12 to 20 minutes for most people. We did 5 by 4 minutes, slightly above threshold, into one full climb at what would be sort of 70.3 effort. I had an amazing bike session. I rode about 360 for the above threshold 4 minutes, which was about 15 watts more than sort of prescribed. And then I rode 300 from top to bottom, which was around 15 minutes. And although 300 is probably slightly punching above my 70.3 power, obviously I was on a climb and my heart rate was spot on. So massive confidence, because I actually was casting my mind back. I haven't done a proper bike session for a couple of weeks, particularly at my numbers, etc. So yeah, first one opening the taps and first one on the TT bike as well. Later that day, we then did 4 by 2k running. And this was an awesome run. First time I've had my lactate taken on roadside, so feeling even more like a pro and doing pro type behaviour things as well as all the training. But it's basically 4x2k off 10 minutes, which was a slightly generous turnaround, but obviously quite a busy day in terms of 3 hard sessions in a day. I was coming in at around 7 minutes. I think I did 7:19, 7:09, 6:54. So around 3:30 per k pace, with the last one being just under. And that was on a flat road that we found that goes 5k one way, 5k the other, and finishes along the seafront here. So perfect running conditions. That was the hard day done. On Thursday, we then just did one session, but it was a long one. We did a 7-hour ride. We basically went from here over to Palma, up to some of the climbs around Andrax and the start of the coast road that goes back to Pollença. And then before Valdemosa, we turned back home and came back the north side of Palma, back through Llucmajor, and then over to where we're staying. It was 175k. We did it in just under 7 hours. It was a very easy zone 1, zone 2 ride. I think we rode sort of 200 watts up the climbs and everything else was less than that. We had a really nice cafe stop, although we did panic that the cafe we targeted was actually closed. But we found a nice cafe, I can't tell you where it was, and had the classic Spanish sort of ham and cheese baguette, a coffee and a cake. And then we had a petrol station stop as well, where we had some sweets, some ice cream and Red Bull. So the ride had a bit of everything. There was 3 of us. It was Toby, Filella and I. And despite our other halves and Billy, etc., thinking that at some point someone will have a sense of humour failure, we actually smiled, all of us, all the way around, and had a really good day. We got back about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which meant that we weren't going to bother trying to swim or even run while we're super tired. Instead, we just went for a nice drink as a collective in the evening and got an early night. That led us into Friday. Now, Friday was a bit of a shock to the system because we got up, went swimming, and we had a bit of a test set, something Coach Billy likes to throw in. It was 100 max, then we did 6x100 plus 10 seconds of your 100 max time, and then a 400 TT. Now, I swam a 1:16 for the 100, which is a couple of seconds off a PB for me, but it's a PB in a 50-meter pool, which is good. To be honest, I generally think it's the first time I've swam under 80 seconds for 100 in a 50-meter pool. Partly because I haven't tried yet, so to see considerably under 80, I was quite happy. And then we swam a 400 TT, which for me was 5:53. For reference, my PB is about 5:28, which is in a 25-meter pool. I'd like to think I can swim a bit quicker than that, but I was pretty tired. And again, it's the first time I've swam 400 hard with no toys, paddles or anything like that. And to come under 6 minutes is relatively good by all accounts. We then did a 30-minute really easy run around where the swimming pool is, and that was Friday done. Leading into the weekend, we had a pretty big one, as you would expect. The first up was a tempo run. My tempo effort, in my head, I wanted to be running around 3:50 to 3:45-ish. The set was 6:4, off 50% of the recovery. So 3 minutes after the 6 minutes, 2 minutes after the 4 minutes, times 2. And I effectively ran 3:50s, 3:55s for the 6s, and then 3:45s, even getting down to 3:40s, 3:39s for the 4s on the last couple of reps. Felt really comfortable, didn't wear carbon shoes, did a 24k run in an hour and 45-ish. I had the 3 girls running as well. They were running their respective paces. Really good vibe as a group together, and everyone doing the sessions together, which was really good. Then went out for a solo spin in the afternoon. Did a bit of heat mapping, as you would expect, trying to get myself up to closer to Jackie Sco's percentages in Mallorca. I think he's over 10% of the island and I'm currently at 6. But yeah, went and did some of the backcountry roads, which were actually really nice. Was on the TT bike again and sort of touching the pedals as lightly as possible, knowing that I had a big Sunday ahead. We got home and then we went in for our first sea swim. Now we have some plans to swim 5k from point to point later this week, but we all wanted to get in and test the water temperature before we start to do a big swim like that. So we went down to one of the coves and swam for 25-30 minutes, so a couple of K, and it was really nice. The water's crystal clear, and when it's flat, it's beautiful.
Ale, ale, ale! Ale, ale! Oh. Come on, Ross.
Oh. Is it one of those great ones?
Takes a village for this one.
Can you not put it up?
No.
Oh,
You two need to get involved as well. Then last big day of the week, obviously a Sunday. So for those new here, I've done a lot of training in the last couple of months, but what I haven't done is ridden it, like, you know, I sort of train in a somewhat polarized fashion, so either going quite hard or quite easy. And now that we're sort of 6-7 weeks out from Texas in particular, we now start to do the sort of riding at Ironman effort, power, longer efforts, that sort of grey zone, zone 3, whatever you want to call it. So this was the first time doing a ride like that, and it also was the first time riding the TT bike out in that sort of session as well. So I did use it on Wednesday in the intervals, but we're obviously climbing, so you're not doing it in TT position. This was TT position, ride as fast as you can, try and hit sort of powers and so what as you'd want to, but also focus on sort of speed and riding well. So we went out to a flat road, which was 26k one way, 26k the other, or flattish road. And the session was 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, off 5 minutes each, times 2. So effectively 2 hours worth of riding at Ironman power. And then into 5x2 minutes harder, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off. I was somewhat surprised and really happy with how the ride went. I managed to stay in position the whole time and feel super comfortable, which is great because, hand on heart, I haven't done as much riding in TT position over the winter as I have historically. Not through any deliberate conscious decision, I just haven't, but it sort of came back somewhat naturally. The power also felt really good, and my heart rate was a bit lower than normal as well, so pushing sort of 250-ish watts. I was sort of flying along at around 40 k's an hour, felt super smooth, super in control. So big confidence boost ahead of going into a sort of block of 5-6 weeks of that. We then did a run off the bike, which was a super easy group run off the bike. I had Amy, Laura and Fenella together as a group. 40 minutes, 8k. Some of that was on a beach. Had to stop Fenella, etc., trying to make sandcastles halfway around a run. But yeah, very easy off the bike. And then the last session of the week, which we all knew was going to be a swim. In my head, it's got to be an easy swim. There's no way we're going to do a hard swim now. Get to the pool, and I didn't even take any fuel with me. I just took an electrolyte drink, and coach drops it's a 10-400s, effectively best effort, Ironman effort set. The turnaround times I was initially given were slightly aggressive, so definitely managed to negotiate a bit easier on that, but actually surprised myself, as you always do when you're put in those scenarios of, you know, just get it done. Again, 3 of us were doing it, and we, you know, without having to say to each other, we're all, no, we're just going to get this done as a group. We're all obviously going to swim, you know, our own respective times, paces, etc., but just sharing a lane with some people that are doing the same as you, mentally probably finding it pretty tough, you know, just helps that little bit extra. And that's the week. That's 30 hours of training, or Strava had me at 29 hours 52, but that's without rest in the pool and mobility and all the other things, so I'm calling it 30 hours. I was not tempted to go for an 8-minute run late Sunday night just to round it up. I am a changed man. And that is week 1 in Mallorca. We have 2 weeks left, got 1 week left here, and then we move over to Port Pollença, which is a sort of more well-known or popular area, where we've got a proper camp with some athletes coming out, which will be incredibly busy and incredibly stressful, but incredibly enjoyable at the same time. And then we will be flying to America. So that's it. That is week 1. Here's the view of the sea. That over there in the distance, if you can see it, the tall buildings, is where we're going to swim to on Wednesday. Billy is going to be in a kayak, all being well, and so he can rescue us / film. Yeah.
Am I lying? Am I lying, Vanilla? There we are. Why is my fin on the floor? Last 100. I put his feet down there. Little fucker. No. I do not consent. I do not consent.
To what?
Being filmed.
You are?
I'm going to be about 5k down on you guys.
You're actually going to be under 100 miles at this rate. Let's see your skills, Billy. Okay. Oh, I got the cranks. Recording.
Oh.
How was it?
Yes, that's right.
Pinging.
Got your hamstring.
Yeah.
Toby hasn't bonked yet, that's a good sign.
I haven't fallen over yet either.
You've always wanted to be on the channel, haven't you?
Never.
You're one of the early subscribers.
Early subscriber, but I expect a referral fee now.
Oh, you want an appearance fee like a certain pro?
Yeah.
Oh, he's done the Annie Howe.
They're flying there.
Yeah, she got a bee in her helmet at Roth, didn't she? First wee stop of the Mallorca camp. Hold that, Toby. Just need to fill up the machine.
No, it goes up your ass.
Woo! Hello, sailor. Got some fizzy sweets. Bloody cyclists! Use the cycle lane!
You paid the taxes.
No, we haven't paid the tourist tax yet. No, Fenella. Billy will go mad. That was Toby's idea. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where did you fall off?
Somewhere along here.
Really?
I didn't get to flip back.
Here he is on the front for the first time.
I can smell a coffee shop.
I want you, I need you, cold God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. What? Comrade, if you could win any gold medal in the Olympics, what would it be?
I've actually seen about this as well, yeah.
Gold.
What's going on here?
Well, it's a new wetsuit and I'll get told off if I get finger marks.
These gloves.
A little bit afraid.
It's cold.
It's not working. I'm switching over to Laura's YouTube because I'm being poorly treated in the other YouTube.
Well, it dragged me up.
Go on, girl. Yes.